Hey y'all, it's Snoop Dogg, and you're listening to the Stories, Sports, and Sarcasm podcast.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
3, 2, 1. Welcome, one and all, to the Stories, Sports, and Sarcasm podcast. I'm Keith, along with my friends Jim and Bert. We've got a special guest today, Nate.
Triple S Pod.
There it is.
Nate is my wife's cousin's husband.
When did you get married?
Yeah.
It's basically.
We all know you're.
I don't know what to tell you.
Don't try to church this up, Keith. We know you're living in sin.
Oh,
Right.
so does the
She's
pastor.
got one of her family member, her in-laws on here.
Check
My
this out.
wife.
That's what that's what we go with. That's what this is all going to be cut out, so it's not your smart ass comments are going to be left out. So.
This is the first time I've heard you reference her as your wife.
Oh, that's
Not a coincidence.
The only reason we're not married is because
Legally,
Audrey,
you can't get married yet. Waiting for some
No,
court cases to clear out.
Audrey's
Megan's Law.
she's going to go to college, and we don't want to include my income on all her forms and stuff because it'll prevent her from getting a lot of grants and shit.
Oh, okay.
So
That makes
that's
sense.
the only reason. That's the only reason we're not married. So yeah, so Nate is I guess it's cousin. Is it?
Yeah, it's something like that. I don't know. It gets all weird on that side of the family.
It does get all weird. I mean, we've got an abundance of gay aunts. What? You're right, Nate.
Yeah, I'm a rookie at this. Sorry.
We've got an abundance of gay aunts on that side.
We do?
It's an abnormal. It's well above the average.
Yes. But they're awesome. They're all awesome. But yes.
They are. They're all great. They're fabulous. Are we going to have any angry Alex today?
I don't think so. He, I don't know. Before work, when we left tonight, he was pretty cranked up watching. Not angry. No, he was watching Family Guy. He was watching Family Guy clips, and as he was walking out the doors, he may be going down the rabbit hole tonight watching videos. I don't know if he's going to make it or not. But yeah,
So tell us a little about yourself, Nate.
Yeah, so I live in Sunbury, Ohio. My wife and daughter been out here for 3 years. I love sports. I'm like the office sports guy. And I'm a super gambler. I can control my money, but I think I'm addicted to gambling. I don't know if that's makes you addicted or not if you can control your money, but I'm a nerd about it. I do a lot of research and spend way too much time on it, but it's just fun for me. That's my biggest hobby for sure. And when it became legal here, January 1st, that got me pretty pumped up. So that's kind of what's going on with me right now is all the college hoops and stuff like that. But
now are you betting like I am on Euro basketball at 2:00 in the afternoon?
I'm not. I used to, but I'm
Jim,
trying
you
to
just
be
need
disciplined.
help. I mean,
They're fun. I mean, they're fun. You just, I don't know what it is about them.
No,
but
Nate was cranked up. We went over to their house for I don't know what it was. It was between Christmas and New Year, and I don't know what we want to call that. He was wound up because there was some bet that he wanted to be able to make, but it was 2 days too early. It was,
Oh
I think it was-
yeah. The Iowa, Kentucky.
that
It
wasn't
would have been
one.
a
It wasn't
winner
that one. I think it was the Cowboys game.
where the game didn't matter to the Titans. Yeah, only the next week. Yes, and it was an easy winner. I was mad about that.
He was like
Rightfully
pulling
so.
up text messages so that he could prove to us that that's what he had said before the game.
Dude, I was right about it. Tennessee is a meaningless. You don't ever see that, a meaningless Week 16 game where they're still in it, but this game's meaningless because if they win or lose, it doesn't matter next week. Dude, it was a perfect spot for Dallas there.
Did you get in?
He was fired up for because the game was before New Year's.
No, I mean I bet it on my offshore account, but it wasn't legal in Ohio yet.
He's like, no. Yeah, I got a bet in. It wasn't. Yeah.
Well, I didn't get all the free money that the January 1st offered when I signed up. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Still that about it.
Free money. Did you see the Ohio legislature is all pissed off because some of the sports book had been advertising free money, and that was one of their criteria for allowing it to be legal in Ohio is they could not use the term free money. It had to be bonus money or so yeah, they're all pissed off, I guess. Some of the sports books.
Caesars, I think, is who it is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I
'cause
didn't see that.
Caesars has that commercial where the guys dressed up as Caesar, the black guys dressed up as Caesar, talking about all the free money he's giving away.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There's a bet on Gronk at I think it's the Super Bowl. He's going to try and kick a field goal Super Bowl.
Yeah, I
And
saw that.
I'm getting in on that.
Yeah. He'll make it. He's Gronk.
Right, of course he'll make it.
Right.
So Nate, what we like to do.
Sorry, I'm here. I've got a Pennsylvania highway patrolman that's close enough that I'm switching back to my map, so it blocks my camera.
Well,
Not a bad idea.
yeah.
So, Nate, one of the things we like to do on our show is our 5 faces. Now, our 5 faces are the 5 people that we would punch in the face given the opportunity. Who's your 5 faces, Nate?
Okay. I got them. So a couple of them are things, but then I got 3 individuals as well.
Perfect.
So I mean, I mentioned we already talked about betting, so the first couple are kind of go that direction. But the one thing I can't stand as a bettor is like when you're on an underdog and the game goes to overtime. Like just let the favorite hit a basket and win by 1 and not go to OT where I could lose my underdog bet. Like it's like you bet the right spot, but then you got them +5, but then they lose by 7 in OT. Like
The over under. You bet the under and they go
same thing.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. You could use it in that example as well. And I cannot, it's like, I hate it when you make the right bet and lose. Like it just drives me crazy. So that's my number 1. My number 2 is, I guess this is going to be like most of my friends. I want to punch my friends in the face, but better
feeling.
I get that. Yeah.
New bettors that think the game is over 5 minutes into the game. Like these guys just started betting January 1st. They the text message come over. You got the -7 NFL team. The other team's up 7-0 in the first quarter, and they're acting like the game's over. NFL games, man, you got a lot of swings back and forth. So chill out. We got a long game to go, but they'll learn. They just don't know yet. And
emotional roller coaster.
Exactly. And I think I don't know. I bet a long time ago. I was in college when I started betting, so I probably did the same thing then, but I'm seeing it all over again, man, with all my buddies getting in on these free bets. So
yep.
And then now I got my individuals. This is kind of a joke with our friends, but Clowney, man, for the Browns, the defensive end. Like this guy, he's a good football player. I'm not saying he's not. But he makes one football play in a bowl game against Michigan, jumps over the pile. Everyone, and it's even on Fox News. Everyone sees it. Yep. And now this guy is still gets paid everywhere he goes. He signs huge contracts. He's injured half the year. Like, yeah, I mean, he had one of the best plays I've ever seen. But man, he's living off it.
He is definitely living off of that hit for sure.
He played for South Carolina, didn't he? That was South Carolina.
Cox Wolverines. Yep. Then this one I just threw on there. I'm actually he's a GOAT. I'm a big fan of his, but I'm throwing it on there because of timing. Tom Brady, and it's because we have to go through this retirement bullshit again for the whole off season. Is he going to retire? Is he going to play? Yeah. I don't want to watch that every day. Maybe it's not his fault. Maybe it's the media's fault doing it, but I couldn't stand it last year, and now he lost, so we're already hearing it. Yeah. And my last one, it's tough to put this one on here, but he just got on last night. It's Chris Holtman. I think he's a nice guy. I think he's a good guy, but man, like this team is way too good to be losing 5 in a row, and now maybe in trouble for the tournament. Nebraska.
That's right.
Even worse.
I think he's a little over his head in the Big Ten.
Possibly. I just think.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
do you think Brady's going to end up?
Las Vegas.
Retired.
You know
Wait,
what?
is that why you pulled your jersey? You're wearing a Brady jersey?
It's Brady's Super Bowl jersey.
That's a coincidence that you're wearing that.
You wonder why people think you're a bandwagon fan.
Now, have I ever said? Okay, so everybody knows it's common knowledge that I hate Aaron Rodgers.
Keith, you are a fan of Front Runner University. That is what you are.
That is facts.
Front Runner Keith. That's what we call you.
Oh my God, it's so infuriating.
I know it is for you. So you it is a well-known fact that I hate Aaron Rodgers. It is also a well-known fact that I love Tom Brady. And I've always liked Tom Brady.
Bert, did you know that? Have you ever heard that before?
I always compare Aaron Rodgers to Tom Brady because if people did what Tom Brady did, if Aaron Rodgers had done what Tom Brady did with his contracts and being able to keep players around him, that they would have probably taken 3 of those Super Bowls from Brady.
Bert,
okay.
How long have you known Keith? Have you ever heard him say he is a Tom Brady fan?
Okay, so let me. The last Super Bowl that Tom Brady lost, the day after Keith and I talked, and he said, "I really wanted to see Tom win another one, just because I like watching greatness." I do remember that.
Okay.
But I still remember, Keith dry humping the Giselle poster at the bar once. So I don't know.
I don't remember that. It sounds like I wouldn't have, but it does definitely sound like something I would have done.
Maybe it was the Dale Earnhardt Jr. poster. I don't remember, but yeah.
That sounds like something I would have done too.
Yeah.
I've known you since 2008, 9. I've never heard you talk Tom Brady. You show up here with a jersey on.
Yeah, this is from when he won the Super Bowl. I ordered this right after they won the Super Bowl.
You've never wore that before. I know, right, Bert? You've never wore that shirt before, ever.
I know I've wore it because it had the tags off. Because I took the tags off on my Tonga Vailoa when I wore it to the draft. Remember, I wore a Dolphins jersey to the draft.
Okay, that's an Alabama player. This is completely out of the blue.
You know what? I will post the screenshots. I'll find where I've said it well in the past that I love Tom Brady.
Can I update my punch in the face list right now?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody has a friend like this. I have a friend like this. It's normal. It's totally normal. Totally normal.
Yeah, well, now you may have a family member like that, so good luck.
There you go. Now
You already
that
do.
they're married.
Right, now that they're married, you already do.
Yep.
Excuse me. So, what are you drinking, Nate?
I'm drinking Rheingeist.
Rheingeist?
Out of Cincinnati.
Yes, sir.
Right next to Bert's bank that he drove 4 hours to get traveler's checks to go to Connecticut.
I had to get cash. Yeah.
You guys give me some traveler's checks.
I had to fly with about $6,000 worth of cash in my pocket from Columbus through Charlotte and into Connecticut to buy a car.
Why did you not get a cashier's check? What is wrong with you?
The individual I bought the car from said that he wanted cash, and I even offered to do a bank wire transfer. Don't get me wrong, I was nervous.
So you know how to do a bank wire transfer because
last week we weren't sure.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what are you on, Jim? Oh, go ahead, Bert.
No, got it. We'll get to the Charlotte story.
Bottle of Sazerac rye.
You're drinking. You popped up in your Sazerac.
I love Sazerac rye. I like rye bourbon, so ran over there, grabbed that.
How does it compare to the Angels? Or I don't know. Like I don't know what ryes I've had that you've had.
It is smoother than the Angels Envy rye.
Maybe that would be one that I'd like then.
It's smoother. The Angel, it doesn't have as much flavor though. The Angels Envy has way more flavor though than the Sazerac rye. Yeah.
I got obviously I'm on water and Bert's on. He's not drinking his non-alcoholic IPA in his
Not
car.
car. No, I'm
Good.
drinking. I'm drinking some sugar-free Monster energy drink because I've been driving all day.
Weight loss. Trying to lose 42 pounds. Full Grayson. I am down 13 pounds, which is 29%. So
That's awesome.
getting there.
Have you been weighing Grayson as you go? Because if he puts on a little bit for the winter, everyone puts on a little bit in the winter time. If he puts on 5 pounds, it really cause a problem for you.
Does my weight loss adjust as Grayson's weight adjusts?
Right.
Yeah, send him over to my house. I'll fatten him up for you. Don't worry.
Right.
Well, yeah, he
This is
came
gravy, Grayson. Drink up, buddy.
came over yesterday, and
He's making him do fasts now, intermittent fasting.
he is so picky about food. Like his thing is the way I describe Grayson's eating habits is he is a strict vegetarian that doesn't realize pepperoni is not a vegetable. Because pepperoni is the only meat he'll eat. Kids will eat chicken nuggets. It won't touch chicken nuggets. Sometimes if you get chicken nuggets from Wendy's and tear them up, he'll eat them. If you get chicken nuggets from Wendy's and you cut them up, he won't touch them.
Lord help you if they're spicy, though. They're going to get launched right back into the kitchen.
Right.
Not by Grayson.
No,
There's some people in Wendy's that know better than to give Grayson spicy nuggets.
So you're down 13 from when you started, right? That's where you're at right now.
I was actually down 16 yesterday, but I don't know if it. I drank a bunch of water last night before I went to bed. I don't know if that had something to do with it, but when I went to bed last night, I was up some. So I'm going off of what it was tonight when I weighed myself up there.
Is there a date that you're going to, or is this just I get there when I
Achieve the
get
goal.
I'm going to the date that I weigh 240 pounds is when it.
Can you guys hear that?
Domestic bliss.
That's my dog. I got a puppy, so he's going
The
crazy.
wife
Up there.
yelling at the dog.
Yeah, you could hear that.
Yes,
That's
I heard
far.
that.
That's far away. That's far away too. Sorry.
Tiffany cameoing into the podcast.
Oh, you met the puppy. Yeah, he's being an asshole. Like
Yes,
also.
that puppy. Oh,
Sorry for the distraction.
no big deal. I'm not a dog person, and so the night I came to your house, I wasn't feeling well. So that's everybody was like standing around in the kitchen talking. I was like, "Why don't we bring this party in here on the couch?" And they're like, "Oh, we think we're fine." I'm like, "Well, I'm going into the couch. Y'all want to talk to me? You might want to come in there too." And so the party all ended up coming in there eventually. But that dog, he'd get up and he'd get right in my face. And Nate'd yell at him, "Get down," and he'd get down, and then he'd come right around and jump back up and get back in my face.
Dude, he's terrible.
I started
But
blowing.
he's like 7 months old. Too.
Yeah, puppies are the worst. The worst. Till they're a year old, it's just like it's miserable. But then they're
It's
cool.
it's a nightmare around here.
Yeah.
I'll update you also for my weight loss challenge. I'm hovering right around 12 pounds. Take away from the puppy story.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Congrats, guys.
Yeah, well, so I've been on a high protein, high fiber diet for about 2 weeks now. Yesterday was my cheat day, but that tends to make restroom trips a little bit more entertaining than they usually are. I was flying from Columbus to Charlotte, then to Connecticut. And I get to Charlotte, and the men's room has an attendant who literally cleans the toilets right after you use them. So you walk in, and this older gentleman, he's like, God bless, have a great day. Hope you're having a wonderful day, right before you go use the toilet, right? So I go to sit down, and I mean, it just sounded like a tuba exploding. I was like, blah, 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 blah. I hear, come on, man. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Did you leave him a tip, I hope, when you left after that?
Yeah, just
Not
the
to
tip.
go
Though.
in there.
I flushed
I
it
want
a
to give
couple
that
of
one
times.
Let me give that one a minute to settle.
Right. Flush as you go on that one.
Like I felt like the meat sweats as I went to sit down. And I knew it wasn't going to be good. I was just hoping it was going to be silent. No, it did not. It sounded like that scene from Dumb and Dumber, but louder. And yeah, so I got yelled at by the men's room attendant in the Charlotte airport for pooping too loud.
So now, what are you losing weight for, Bert? I'm losing weight because I'm tired of
I'm a
being
fat ass.
as chubby as. Yeah, I'm there.
I'm tired. I'm tired of like people looking at me when I walk into a restaurant thinking, yeah, he doesn't need to be here. No. You should go home. You maybe buy a
He goes
treadmill,
into a
put it on a
buffet. He's
cable
like, I'm
line.
gonna get my money's worth.
Yeah. No, I'm
Keith, if you shed a few of these front running teams you've been carrying around for years, then you have some pretty instant weight loss.
I've got a Georgetown basketball jersey upstairs.
it's Patrick Ewing from when he
Right.
won, he was runner up.
Actually, funny story is, my friend that races or used to race in NASCAR, Brendan Gaughan. We went to me, Jim, and a friend of mine and my dad. Another friend of mine and my dad went to Kentucky as a guest of Brendan Gaughan.
What a disastrous trip that was.
It was a funny trip, but Brendan.
Maybe you should have Cliff on here. You know what? The dinner party you hosted, Keith, the dinner party that you hosted, you're moving out are the two top most awkward situations I've been in. But that weekend with Cliff, right? Was that his name? Clint. He made it pretty awkward. Very awkward.
So Brendan.
Did he touch you, Jim?
No, but he was trying to touch everybody else and eat their food. And
don't touch my food.
Gosh.
Well,
I will fight you.
Let's
he
dive
shows up
into
to the well. All right, go
let's
ahead.
dive into that story. But Brendan played for Georgetown. He played college basketball for Georgetown. So I've got Brendan Gaughan Georgetown basketball jersey. So we go to this race, and we're guests of.
Maybe we shouldn't use his name. Does he listen to this? Are you friend? Do you talk to him?
No. Nobody listens to this.
He's gonna know the story. So we go to this race, and we're guests of Richard Childress Racing. So we're in the garage area. We're able to go up in the transporters.
We're not able to go up in the transporters.
Yeah,
you're talking on the top.
We could go on top of them, but Richard Childress ones, we could go inside of those transporters. That we could do that. Well, they've got like these drink coolers that they set up for team members and guests outside of the transporters. And like, if you want to go over and grab a water or a Gatorade, that doesn't bother them. They don't care about that. If you want to go up on top of the transporter and watch practice, you're allowed to do that. Well, but that's only the 3 or 4 Childress transporters. Clint was going to the coolers at the back of all the transporters and getting drink. He went up in a transporter of a team that I don't know who it is and like made himself a plate of their lunch.
That's because he showed up at the race with no money.
No money. So,
hey, can you spot me this? Can you spot me that? I've just met you.
That was the weekend that we stayed at a Motel 6. Where it was at the 71-75 split. I can't remember what that little area is called. It's past Covington, right where 71 and 75 split. There's a Motel 6 there. And it was like the only hotel that we could find. So
is that Blue Ash?
Maybe.
All right.
So we stayed at this hotel. We get checked in. We've got adjoining rooms, and it's like the 2 beds, and then there's a chair. And that was the most disgusting chair I've ever seen. So I took a picture of it, and this is back when I had Twitter. I took a picture of it, and I posted it on Twitter that at Tom Bodette shouldn't leave the light on at this at Motel 6. Just making a joke. I was contacted by Tom Bodette and Motel 6. They comped our stay.
Chair looked
What?
like,
They
chair
gave
looked
you
like
back your
somebody.
$8.
Yeah, this chair looked like somebody died in it.
And then they
Probably.
bought it and brought it into a Motel 6.
Right.
It,
Yeah.
it was probably a dead hooker, right? Because when the hooker dies, the second hour is always free. So
Was there any substances on the chair?
of course.
Jim claims he slept in his clothes on top of the comforter that night.
To steal a line from Michael Scott in The Office and Dwight when they shine a black light in the hotel, and Dwight said it's either blood, urine, or semen. Michael said, "God, I hope it's urine." Yeah.
So did it look like a Jackson Pollock painting? Is that what it looked like under the black light?
Who's Jackson Pollock?
Oh, you uncultured
I'm gonna cut
swine!
this out.
Pretentious Bert is making an appearance tonight.
I'm in the Jaguar, and I'm headed into West Virginia right now. The wild and wonderful West Virginia.
Where is your final destination? You heading back to Connecticut or?
No, I'm going home.
Coming back from. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
You better change that
Oh,
attitude when you hit the West Virginia border.
So
Where's my sister? Sorry.
What are you losing weight for, Bert?
I just because I'm a fat ass. That's it. I mean, that's tired of being as round as I am tall. So
You don't
really
have any big event that you're training for?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, so
We're getting the big announcement now.
Yeah. Well, no,
We're getting
not
an
all of it. We're getting an announcement. So I have joined a gym, right? Because I'm training for a fight. Yeah, curves. Yeah, I joined curves. Yes. Okay. Well, I'm allowed to be in the parking lot and look in the window sometimes. But so I've joined a gym.
Isn't that what your warrant was for?
Criminal trespass, but you give them a little bit extra. You drop off some cookies, you can look in the window. But no, I'm training for a fight that's coming up. It's a big name fight, so I can't reveal it yet because their promoters have said they don't know it's going to happen yet. But so I'm training for a fight. I'm looking forward to it. I've got to get down to, I think it's about 153. I think is the weight class of the other fighter. So I still got about 47 pounds to roll off.
What kind of a boxing match?
MMA. Yes, I'm going for it. I'm gonna go full on MMA.
Last week we asked who would win between a fight between me, you, and Keith, and you immediately said, "Not me." And now you're training for a fight.
Training for a fight. I'm gonna fight Nate's dog later. That's the warm up fight. That's the.
Could you hear him again? Because they were.
Oh yeah, he's wound up. The dog doesn't bother me. A little bit of barking in the background. I thought it was hysterical when I heard Tiff lose her shit on him.
Going on right now.
He hears that same thing when he goes out to the bars. Stop it!
I'll be embarrassed when I tell her she was all over it.
Well, I think we'll be able to cut most of it.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll put her in the credits.
All right.
All right. So what else has happened this week? My car broke down. I got to send my car up to the gym and have it fixed.
Probably just out of gas.
No, I just filled it up.
First question I asked him.
That's the first question. I said, Jim, my car won't start. It acts like it's out of gas. He's like, have gas in it? Yes, it has gas.
Have him take a picture of like the gear shift. Make sure it's not in gear, Jim. You don't want to get.
Well, no, it's a push button. So you push the button and it cranks, but it won't fire. And we think it's either the fuel pump or the ignition or like the spark. But I don't think it's that. I don't think it sparked because it started and then quit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know how to find the throttle body to shoot. To shoot the
Really don't
starter.
want to do that on a direct injection engine anyway.
Oh,
I was gonna say,
I'm
you
glad,
don't even know what
I'm glad you told me that now after I suggested it. You're like, yeah, if you can find it.
Right. Because I knew you wouldn't do it.
And then
did you have
Bert's on
the
his way
key
back
with
from
you? I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm on my way back from Rhode Island, yes.
in a Jaguar.
And a Jaguar. That's the way you have to say it now. Since I'm an owner now, I have to say Jaguar legally. I can't say
How many miles have you put on it?
actually close to 800 at this point.
How much shit have you hit with it?
How much shit have I hit in it? Oh,
It's a
okay.
derby car.
I actually, well, every car I own is a derby car. So I stopped at a Sheets today and I pulled up to the curb and I pulled too far to the curb. And I didn't realize how high up the curb was and how low this car was. So there's a piece of landscaping. It's like the piece of metal that holds the landscaping in place. I jacked that shit up. And then I've got a big U-shaped mark in the mulch where the front end of my car went up over the curb. So yeah, I've already hit something. I wasn't gonna say it, but you brought it up. So yeah, there was no rock to hit. So that didn't keep me from hitting anything, but yeah. So the Jaguar has already hit something in my possession.
Nice.
What an asshole.
Also, Nate, obviously a Reds fan. Where are you at? Where do you stand in college and NFL football?
I'm all homegrown. I'm from Dayton, so Bengals and then Buckeyes.
Okay.
No, you're not going to get me across the. Yes, Keith, same question. You're not going to get all the Green Bay, Alabama. It's just going to be all Ohio. So, I'm pumped for Sunday. Super pumped for Sunday.
So what is your confidence level in this? They're playing it. Where are they playing it at?
Buffalo.
I thought it was a neutral site if they met each other.
It was only a neutral site if it was only going to be a neutral site if Buffalo lost the last.
It's a neutral. The AFC Championship game, which they're already selling tickets for, if it's Kansas City Buffalo, is in Atlanta.
Okay, all right, gotcha. That's
what you're thinking. But my confidence level, man, this is a crazy thing to say, being a Bengals fan as long as I am, but it's high. I think we can beat them. I think no one talks about the Bengals. They slip under the radar. They have O-line issues, but I don't know, man. I think they can win.
They made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
we can get our other Bengals fan in here. I had him wound up all year.
Keith, you're such a dick to him. What is your problem with him?
I don't actually even have a problem with him. They were 0-2, and he was like, they're going to go 12-5 or something like that.
10 wins. Yeah, all he said was they're going to have 10 wins.
I think he said they were going to go 12-5, and I was just jacking with him.
I think they did good. I think they did do that.
Yeah, they went 11. I think they went 11-5,
but they missed the game.
They did, yeah.
Right, but they missed the game.
They were going to win that game anyway.
I was just messing with him. And then, like, when they got to 10, he put in our group chat. He's like, "Fuck you," and blah blah blah. Like,
he did not.
Well, dude, you're a dick about stuff. You texted me immediately after like the Buckeyes missed the field goal. What's the SEC record now? Like
no.
Oh, Keith,
yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Hold on.
Yes, you fucking did. Like you're that guy. People get pissed.
He started that thing we went to. He was talking about the SEC's bowl record, and I don't care about the SEC's bowl record at all. I didn't care about Alabama playing Kansas State at all. Didn't. You guys were
because you're not a fan.
No, I am.
You see to lose every game. Yes,
I am a fan. But he went on and on about the SEC's bowl record. And then when
they're like 0-4, man, someone's got to talk about it.
I didn't care. But when Ohio State lost, I was like, hey, how's the bowl record looking now?
30 seconds after he missed the field goal. But you put that in there.
Just messing with him. But that night, and what was the other thing that you were talking about talking about some TV show nobody's ever heard.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you brought this up. I can't wait to hear the other responses here. Have you anyone here seen the show 24?
Oh, um, huh. Oh, is that the one with Jack Ryan?
No.
Kevin Bacon.
Man. No.
Oh, that's right.
Are you guys fucking with me?
Oh.
No. Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh yeah, he was in Lost Boys. Which was he the Corey that survived or the Corey that didn't make it?
One of the Coreys.
One of the Corys.
I can't tell if you guys are messing with me or not.
The only thing that I can think of that Kiefer Sutherland was in was the one Designated Survivor, where he was the president. And that's the one. I think that's the one you're talking about, Nate.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about 24. I think you guys are messing with me. The show is awesome. There's no way I ran into the only 9 people in the world that haven't seen it right now. It's possible, I guess, but that's nuts.
No one at your entire party knew what you were talking about. There was no one there that knew what you were talking about.
I know, which it's shocking. It's like you guys are. I'm super jealous that none of you guys have seen the show. You get to watch it all now. Binge it
I don't
to
think
death.
it's actually a show,
Dude.
I don't think it's a real thing.
24 has
are you
James
fucking with
Spader,
me?
right? He's a James Spader, right? The guy that was on The
When
Office.
he's
yeah.
in prison. Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember.
No,
He was in
that's
prison
Black.
and he had the woman
Blacklist. Yeah, that's Blacklist. You're
Oh.
right. Yeah.
Are you guys fucking with me or are you being serious? I can't tell. Because it's like, this is weird if you're being serious. It had like 9 seasons. Like Fox's best show for like
looking it
ever.
up, and there's nothing.
I don't know all these obscure shows.
Yeah, we don't.
This
I don't watch obscure shows either.
It's not
Is this
obscure.
like
I was
anime
like,
or something?
I was late to the party watching it, and I made a huge mistake not watching that right when it came out. Okay, I can't tell if you guys are messing with me or not, but it's a really good show. If you haven't seen it, it's awesome. You should watch it.
You said it's got Kevin Bacon.
24.
You guys are fucking with me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got to come
All
clean.
right.
I got to come clean. You started talking about it at that party, and you were I don't know who you were talking to it with, talking about it
Dude,
with.
I was like fucking 10. What are we drinking that night? Sneaky, whatever those are.
PKP, yeah.
Yeah.
I slipped.
Wait a minute. Did you say we? Was this in January?
Oh
No,
shit!
it was in December. It was before New Year.
Okay, you're lucky, Keith. You almost just
he,
got.
he wasn't drinking either that night, I don't think.
No, actually, I didn't drink that night either because I was
I was
that
drinking.
night, and I was the designated driver. So he started talking about this, and the person he was talking to didn't know what he was talking about, and he was getting wound up about it. I slipped out of the room and told everyone else at the party to act like they had no idea what he was talking about.
You asshole. It's the first time I've heard this.
So some of the people didn't know what you were talking about, and some of the people did.
Well, that's why I said you guys fucking with me. Because it was so
So I told these guys the story a couple weeks ago when you said you were going to come on the podcast.
good trick.
We've
Good
been
trick.
planning this the whole time.
Good trick. Good trick. It was good. That was a good setup, good everything. But I knew when you said Kevin Bacon again, I knew it.
I've actually watched all the episodes of 24. It's a good show. It really is.
Okay. But our family has not seen it. That's real.
Jack
That's
Ryan,
weird.
that's the one that's got
Is that Jack Ryan?
John Krasinski from
that's
Mother-
got
The
Jack Krasinski in it, right?
Is that Jack Ryan? You motherfucker.
Is that Jack Ryan? Yeah, that was tough to keep a straight face. I will say, I was
You
challenged.
guys are pretty good, man, because this is exactly how they were acting. So, but I'm not sneaky Pete up this time.
Yeah.
It's easier that I'm not on video because I'm sure my face would have given it away. I was
So
Have you seen it, Keith, or no?
no, like
Okay.
if it was on TV, like I would watch it kind of if I was doing something else, if it just happened to be on. But no, I have not sat down and watched.
Yeah, it's a good show.
So, into topics. One of the topics one of the things on here the NFL draft. So the Bears got the number 1 pick. Do you think that they draft Bryce Young and ship Justin Fields? Or do they deal the first pick?
It's the
Now,
same
are they
player.
getting a new? Are they?
But they,
Are
yeah,
they
it
getting
is
a
the same
new
player,
GM?
but they get to reset his rookie deal.
It's
And
one
I don't think it's the
one
same
year.
player. I don't think it's the same player. I think Justin Fields is a considerably better run.
Well, didn't the Bears get a new coach and a new GM? Or are they keeping the same coach and GM? Because
I'm not.
typically, coach and GM want to bring their own people in.
So do you think they deal the pick?
I would if I were the Bears. I would deal it, and then I would go after some O-line help for Justin Fields. They've got weapons. They need protection.
Yeah, that's a good thought. Is it 1 year or is it 2 years that they reset his rookie deal by 2 or 3 years?
Rookie deals are 4 years with a 5th option.
Right. So
If you're the
they would
top
get to
22
completely
pick.
reset on Bryce Young. But Fields is, I think he's got the experience in the NFL, and I think jumping from college to the pros, especially jumping from an Alabama offensive line to Bears offensive line, that's a pretty hefty step.
Right. You
These
go from having time to throw to running for your life. I mean, that's really it.
Yeah, and you go from throwing to wide open receivers all the game long to you got tight windows.
Right. So yeah,
Oh, yeah, you have to.
I think they end up dealing it. I think they end up shipping that pick off to somebody else.
Yeah.
And getting a lion and getting a king's ransom for it.
Or they could just take, if not, they could just take what was his name? Will Anderson from Bam, your boy, Will Anderson. I think they'd rather
He doesn't know
trade
who
it.
that is.
I think they'd rather trade it, but you can just take him and like he's badass. You just take him if that's what happens.
I don't know. I don't think his draft stock is quite that high. So why would you take him when you could probably trade to 4th or so? Let's just say you can trade to 4th, still get the player that you want,
Which they could there, yeah.
and get a bunch of extra picks.
Yeah, I'm just making the point. If everybody's like, no, fuck you, we're not trading you, then okay, we'll take Will Anderson.
You draft Bryce Young and you cultivate him, and you have two what could be stud quarterbacks on rookie deals, and then you've got something that you can deal later down the road when somebody gets hurt.
Do you think they should still take him if they have the first pick?
Whoever, and I don't know if it's going to be Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. I don't know. I think they keep bouncing back and forth which one should go first. Whichever quarterback should go first, they need, if they can't deal the pick, which I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be able to. They need to go ahead and take the quarterback.
Interesting.
The Bears? You still talking about the Bears?
Yeah, if the Bears can't deal that number 1 pick, they need to go ahead and take the quarterback.
Oh,
You're crazy.
There are multiple teams that want that number 1 pick.
There's no way
They're in trouble.
Somebody's gonna give them enough to get, or somebody's gonna want that pick bad enough that they're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, the Texans have enough draft stock, especially from the Browns, that they could get that number 1 pick fairly easily.
Didn't it just happen though? Am I wrong? Didn't the Lions just take? Did he get number 1 overall, the defensive end from Michigan? Or am I wrong about that?
Last year, I think he was Hutchinson.
Yeah, then you go 1
I don't know if he went 1 overall or not.
It's crazy. I don't know this, but I feel like that happened, but I could be wrong.
Stuff I've seen. Will Anderson is very likely going to be the pick if the Bears keep the pick.
He was the 2nd overall pick in the draft.
And for Keith, Will Anderson plays for Alabama, just so you know. I'm not sure.
I appreciate you reaching out and gathering that information.
Yeah, Keith, has your Georgia gear not arrived yet? Is that why you're still an Alabama fan? Is that, or is it? Yeah.
I am only a Georgia fan when they're playing Ohio State and maybe Auburn.
Did you get Stetson's cigar butt mailed to you yet?
He's been a fan of Stetson Bennett. He's told you that, Bert. Don't you remember that he's been a fan of Stetson Bennett?
Well, they're the same age.
Trayvon Walker went same age. Trayvon Walker went first.
I knew that. Yeah. Should have known that.
So what did the 49ers do with their quarterback situation? They spent 3 first-round picks on Trey Lance. They got Jimmy Garoppolo, and Brock Purdy actually looks like the real thing.
Brock Purdy, they said he Mr. Irrelevant last year.
Yeah, last pick in the draft.
Last pick in the draft. I did not know that until today. Or yesterday.
Trey Lance is their quarterback next year.
Even if Brock Purdy takes him to the NFC Championship?
He's not, but yes.
Well, you don't think the 49ers can beat the Cowboys this weekend?
I don't think so. No.
The Niners
Shanahan is a genius, and Brock Purdy's not making mistakes, but that's not your franchise quarterback.
I agree. The Niners are the only team ever where quarterback doesn't matter. It's crazy, but it's true.
Right.
Throw anybody in there.
The Denver Broncos team that won the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning.
There you go. I stand corrected. There you go. There's 2 of them.
Von Miller was the best player on that team, but yeah.
Right.
But the thing is, Purdy playing so well, right? What does he had like a perfect quarterback rating in the last game. He's doing all the things he's supposed to do. He runs when he's supposed to run. He's hitting open receivers. I mean, Trey Lance did not look that good when he played at the beginning of the year. 3 plays he played, but
he didn't have Christian McCaffrey either.
Good point.
But a lot of that has to happen with the draft. I mean, you have Carr, who's going to be available out there, so you got all these moving quarterback pieces. Yeah. I think all that stuff has to go before we really know what's going to happen in the draft, right?
And so, I don't think Brady will go to the. And reason is he went to Tampa to get out of the AFC, and to go back into the AFC, and then have to play Pat Mahomes twice a year. I don't see him.
Herbert twice a year.
Yeah, I mean,
Bill Burrow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he wouldn't have to play Burrow twice a year, but he'd have to.
Yeah. Sorry.
Road until they sign Burrow to his bigger deal, and sign the receiver in Cincinnati. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Jamar Chase. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. I shouldn't have said them. I apologize. You're talking about the West.
Yeah. Oh, until they get Burrow signed and get Chase signed, the road to the AFC is going to have to deal with Cincinnati. So,
never heard anybody say that.
They're going to have to deal with Cincinnati. I'm not saying that Cincinnati's the team that's going to win, but getting into the playoffs until these guys get signed, they're going to be a force. And the determination is when Burrow signs, does he sign an Aaron Rodgers deal or does he sign a Tom Brady?
So Burrow came out this week stating that he wanted to be a Bengal for his entire career, which, at this stage in his career, that's what he's supposed to say. Does he take the cap-friendly deals and win, or does he take the giant deal and live in mediocrity for the rest of his career? I think he's going to take a lesser deal to win games.
I agree.
I would be a huge Joe Burrow fan because.
Oh my God, Keith!
I'm
just going to stalk you the next time I see you.
Cap-friendly quarterbacks. I love cap-friendly quarterbacks.
Yeah, Keith's going to have a jersey, a Bengals jersey that's going to, the last name on it's going to be Hous.
Unbelievable.
Man, I don't hear nice stuff about the Bengals. That's pleasant to hear, guys. Very pleasant.
Yeah.
It's your first time on the show.
You guys felt bad about the 24 thing, so now you're making me feel bad. That's what it is.
No, not at all.
No, I set that up for 2 weeks. I was out. I don't remember where I was. I was out a couple days ago, and I saw a person like so people from high school that you have on Facebook, and you were friends with them in high school, and you see them every once in a while. I saw this girl that looked a lot like a girl that I went to high school with, and then we would hang out because we would be in the same places, and we'd hang out every once in a while, and we'd chat every once in a while. I saw her doppelganger, like some looked just like, except for it was like it looked just like this girl, except she was 40 pounds heavier. So I grabbed my phone and I subtly snapped a picture, and I jumped on Facebook Messenger, and I was like, "Hey, saw your doppelganger today if you were really fat." And I sent her the picture, and she's like, "You just sent me a picture of myself."
Oh,
No way. Oh no.
come
And
on.
then she unfriended me on Facebook. So
Is she pregnant at least?
I would hope not.
Yeah, she's got to be pushing menopause if she's your age, Keith.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that happened. That happened this week, and then it was actually the same day I went and had lunch with my pastor. So pastor and I went out to lunch yesterday, and I told him that he listens to our podcast, and I told him that you guys had questioned his credentials if he was willing to go to lunch with me. And he's like, no, I should come on the podcast. I'm like, I don't feel like that would be a good professional move for you. There is no upside to you coming on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, we have several upstanding citizen friends of ours that refuse to come on here. So
Yeah. I said, yeah, our one friend that's a doctor, I'm like, hey, do you want to come on? He's like, sure, send me the link. And I send him the link, and it would,
He's a chiropractor.
He views the link, and he never I send him the link every week.
He's a chiropractor. He's just a step ahead of those chicks that were giving Deshaun Watson massage. That's why he doesn't like Watson. He's like, it's probably happened to him. Rubbing somebody's wang on the flip.
Wang.
We should all sign up for like Dean to go to his chiropractic office, and then like we get ready, we just start taking off our pants and see what he does.
Yeah.
That would be the only time I ever wore a Deshaun Watson jersey is if I had to go to like his chiropractic office.
Comes in, you're just sitting there in your underwear.
Yeah. Don't worry, I got a tip for you. Just the tip, though.
Yeah.
So we were talking about betting earlier, and we've signed up for a few. Most of us have signed up for a few of these, and I've taken money out of each of them. I went to take money out of one. I don't want to name any names, so
Why?
because you know that I don't like outing companies. So
Just told a story about Motel 6 and Tom Bodette.
Yeah.
Shit, I forgot about that.
Wendy story.
Wendy
Wow.
story, right? Yeah.
He
Well,
meant
okay.
Super 8.
Yeah, so I'm not going to do that again. So we're just going to call this betting app BetMGM. So we'll just call it BetMGM. That's not what it's really called.
Sure.
We've won a bunch of money, and I went to take it out. Can't take it out. They're like, you have to deposit money. So I deposited money. Like, now you have to register your bank account with us. And I registered my bank account, and they're like, oh yeah, you registered your bank account. It's not active. We don't know what to tell you. So 2 days ago, I had to go full Kevin on them on their chat server. And they still haven't gotten back with me about how to get my money out.
Yeah, I've not used that one.
Well, I like, it's funny because not BetMGM talked about it. I just withdrew from that site this morning, and I've already been paid. But I will say that it's not as much money as you're probably withdrawing. And also, when I wanted to withdraw a couple weeks ago, like a month ago, I think, well, it wouldn't have been a month ago. So it'd been before January 1st, but they gave me a hard time. And then I did the deposit and I put some information in, and now I haven't withdrawn until yesterday. So like a week or so passed. So maybe that helped me because I didn't try to withdraw again after I kind of obeyed what they wanted. So maybe I'm just trying to give you good news, and maybe it's happening. It's moving it forward here. And next week, next show, you'll be like, I got my money. We got a new computer.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully.
you have to deposit more money to get your money out.
Well, you have to make an initial deposit. See, all the
Okay.
money that I've made, I got off of free bets. So when I wanted to take money out, I had to deposit $10 for them to allow me to withdraw money.
So be careful with this, right? And I have experience because I actually was reached out to by the son of the deposed king of Nigeria, and he said that he had like $40 million. I just had to give him my bank account information and deposit 10 grand in to cover the cost. And I tell you what, I never saw a penny of that 10 grand or the 40 million that he promised me. Horse shit right there.
Well, he said he was deposed. So
Well, right, but when the son of the deposed king of Nigeria calls, you got to answer that, right?
right, exactly.
But seriously,
I think you'll get it. I think you'll get it, man. This is on an offshore account. I think you'll get it.
That was in like 1998. I don't think it's coming.
Oh, no, sorry. Not that. Not that one.
Oh,
Sorry. Keys money. I think I'll get it. Sorry.
All right, let's buzz the tower. Keep moving.
oh,
Just make it shorter.
hey, I'll make it shorter in post. I'm gonna shorten it up in post.
how can you talk over logins?
Revving up your engine, listen to a howling roar. Man on attention, begging you to touch and go.
Here it comes, everybody.
Highway to the danger zone.
Wait, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's over.
All right, so my buzz the tower topic
Now,
this week.
this is 2 weeks in a row you've got Buzz the Tower.
Yeah. So it fits right in with the non-BetMGM scam you were talking about. I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but I came across this morning, and I kind of went down the rabbit hole. Did you guys know that Mattress Firm is a money laundering operation?
Mattress Firm?
Mattress Firm.
Oh,
Like, are they stuffing money in the actual mattresses?
No. Do yourself a favor and Google Mattress Firm money laundering, and you will go down an exquisite rabbit hole. So, how many mattress firms do you think there are? Now, mind you, how often do you need to buy a new mattress? Every 8 to 10
real
years?
often,
Yeah. How many stores nationwide do you think the Mattress Firm has?
1,800. I see them all over the place. How many?
2,440 something stores. And guess what state that borders Mexico has the most mattress firms? Texas.
Of course, Texas does. They don't want to be regulated.
350 mattress firm stores in Texas. And when you look it up on Google Maps, there are some across the street from each other. They're everywhere. They're like Starbucks.
like Dollar Generals.
Right.
Right. So this goes on. A company called Steinhoff International, who is the number 2, they're right behind IKEA, furniture conglomerate, whatever you want to call it. In 2016, bought Mattress Firm for $4 billion.
Billion with a B.
Billion with a B, which was double the market value. And then that's what the Denver Broncos sold for $24 billion.
This is good, interesting stuff. No
Then
idea.
the next year, Steinhoff International says that there are accounting irregularities in Mattress Firm that they have discovered. And it was billions with a B of accounting irregularities.
So how did you find this?
It came through. I was just doing the Facebook watch. I'm old. I have Facebook. I don't have anything else. So I was just flipping through.
So you were pooping
Yes,
and perusing Facebook.
correct. And this video
Because
came
if
on.
you don't have your phone, you're like Ricky Bobby and Talladega Nights. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Right? And I came across a 3-minute video, and this guy laid out his argument. I'm like, that's very convincing. So I started Googling stuff, and it's unbelievable.
So Mattress Firm is basically
Mattress
Ozark.
Mattress Firm now has 5 stores less than a mile apart.
Yes. So one of my guys that works with me, one of my technicians, I said, hey, have you ever been to because part of this video, they were saying how I've never been in a mattress firm, but he was saying how mattress firms, there's usually 1, maybe 2 people working in there. They don't really seem interested in selling mattresses. It's dingy. So I asked one of my coworkers, I said, have you ever been in a mattress firm? He's like, yeah. He's from Eastern PA. He said, yeah. He said, there where I lived, and I gave him no, that was my only question.
No leading information.
Was it? He says, yeah. I said, I didn't buy anything. I went in there was one guy, he just kind of hollered from the back of the room, if you need anything, let me know. He's like, but there was 3 of them in my town, all within like 15 minutes of each other. And so he confirmed the information that I had.
It's kind of like waterbeds and stuff just being a front for drug paraphernalia.
Right.
Yeah, when I was younger, I thought waterbeds and stuff. I thought the stuff was like sheets, maybe pillows. No, they call it waterbeds and stuff because they can't call it waterbeds and dildos and bongs.
Right.
That's where I get my penis pills. Wait, nope, never mind.
So do yourselves a favor and Google the Mattress Firm.
I've got it up.
Yeah.
I love that. Is that like gone viral? Do like a lot of people know about this? I never heard this.
Yeah. You just Google it, and there's links to videos, people explaining why it is, people explaining why it isn't.
I love it.
Whole thing.
I missed that. I missed out on that.
Yeah, I did too.
So this is a story. I went to Tennessee back at the beginning of December. I went down there to do some work for my sister and to visit my dad. While I was down there, my dad got a bladder infection. He ended up having to go to the hospital. So we're over at the hospital, and they're sending him for some testing. And me and my sister go out and we sit in the waiting room. Now, waiting room and an ER in Crossville, Tennessee, fairly full. Over in the corner, there is I don't know if he's in prison or if he's just a jail, like a county jail inmate. But he's in an inmate garb. He's sitting in a wheelchair. They've got him handcuffed to the wheelchair. And then he's got one of those big foam neck braces on, and his face is all busted up. So he's clearly gotten in some kind of skirmish or
Sounds like he's a sex offender in jail.
maybe. So he's got 2 guards there with him. So he's sitting there and he's having what seems to be a relatively pleasant interaction with the guards. Like they're talking with him. He's talking with them. They're having a conversation. They're on their phone. One of them gets up and he goes outside and he comes back in. And then the other one gets up and he goes outside and he comes back with a bag of Wendy's. And he sits down and he reaches in and he pulls out a thing of fries and he hands it to the other guard. And he pulls out a fry and he puts it in his own lap. And he reaches in, he grabs a hamburger and hands it to the other guard, reaches in, grabs a hamburger and starts eating it. gives nothing to the inmate at all. So the inmate's just like sitting there watching these guys eat Wendy's. My sister and I were like, if he kills these guards, I think I'd have to be a character witness for him in jail because I would completely get that.
So I will tell you, my wife being an ER nurse, this happens quite frequently where they bring in inmates from the jail. Now, it used to be that, the guards would stay with them the entire time, but the jail would have to pay the hospital bill. So what they do now is if it's a nonviolent offender, they release the prisoner at the door. He goes in, gets treatment, and they rearrest him at the door. The reason they do that is so that the county doesn't have to pay the bill for the hospital, for the ER visit.
Like it. Saving that tax
That's
money.
happy. But
Nurses
but
get
that-
paid a lot of money.
not that much.
Just
But-
messing with Bert.
But yeah, so that now I will tell you that my wife, when a prisoner comes in, like her goal is like one, to treat them, but two, to feed them, like because they just want some food. Most of the time, they're not actually sick. They don't really have a problem. They're just hungry because the jail diet is like in the morning it's a piece of toast and a boiled egg. In the afternoon, it's like a hot dog, maybe with a bun and like a piece of potato. So they don't get fed a whole lot. But yeah, that's more common than, prisoners go into the ER all the time, and especially in Lancaster.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of topics that Bert put on there we got to get to anyway.
I have not touched the show sheet this week.
Like 22 topics you put on there
22
today.
topics on this show sheet.
I didn't put any of them on there.
I don't know. It looks like your handwriting.
Yes. My handwriting is in New Times Roman font.
No.
That's
If it was Bert that put it on there, it would be red, and there would be subcategories. There'd be highlights.
okay. So I'm an engineer by trade, and I'm very detail oriented, and that's why I put it in that format.
Clearly, by the way that you set your
Phone
computer
book
up
show
to
sheet from a few weeks ago,
the show
pre-listed.
sheet.
where we had to rank every HSBC college coach, all coaches that have
I heard
ever
that one.
in the history of ever.
So the question in that show was, does Ed Reed bring near the same star power as Dion did to the HBCs? That was the crux of that one.
Well, I couldn't find the crux of that one because there was 3 pages of names. I missed the crux of it in one of the margins.
I'm sorry. Maybe next time I'll put it on a book on tape so that you'll listen to it. I don't know.
You know,
He
you
doesn't like to read.
I don't like to read.
disguise
at
the
all.
link as a Tom Brady fan club link or something.
I'll just wait till somebody wins the Super Bowl and I'll put their logo there. Then he'll read it.
So no, what Jim put this on here, a bunch of these topics. Let's run through a couple of them because they looked
I was just copying and pasting stuff to blame.
right,
it.
but they look, some of these look pretty funny. So
I read none of them.
Hey, what is the best Wi-Fi name you've ever seen?
My guest one is Dunder Mifflin, and the password is Big Boobs with a Z.
So mine at my house, I've got 2 of them on it. I have what are mine called?
Oh, when I was having trouble with Spectrum, when the tech was coming out to check it, I changed mine to Spectrum sucks donkey balls, just so that the technician had to see that.
So he knew which one it was. So
Yes.
my 2 are it burns when IP, like IP address.
Yeah.
And the other one is hide your kids, hide your Wi-Fi.
You love those. Your smile after
I
that.
know. Look at it. I have
It's
never,
good.
I've never
Good.
renamed a Wi-Fi network.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
I'll tell you the only
Same.
reason I
Same.
renamed is
It's gonna be a 10-minute story.
no, it'd be a short one. The first time that Bert came over to my apartment, he wanted to get on my Wi-Fi, and he's got enough technical acumen that he went in and changed the name of my, or he went in and changed the name and password of my Wi-Fi box, and then changed the name and passwords on my router or on my actual Wi-Fi signals, and wouldn't tell me how to change it back.
Yeah,
So
sometimes,
I had to go in and because they're the default passwords, they don't change them at Spectrum, and if you don't change them, anybody that gets on your Wi-Fi can go in and change all that shit. So Bert went in and changed all the shit on my Wi-Fi at my house. I had to reset it, and I learned not to allow that to happen.
So
He did that at the draft at my house. Is when he did that.
so I used to go around anytime I saw open Wi-Fi, I would log into the router. I'd look up the default username and password, and I would change the router, the SSID to free Wi-Fi and make it open. I used to do that all around Lancaster. I was
That's brutal.
And the thing is like those routers do logging, but in order to change it, you have to do a reset of the router, which wipes out the logs. So there you go.
So what about that? Hey, have you seen any funny Wi-Fi name? What's the name of the Wi-Fi at your house?
I'm boring. I just like Jim said. It's just whatever Spectrum gaming I have. It's Jolly Bunny 772 or some, I don't know, something like that. We never changed it.
Yep. I peeled the sticker off the bottom, or actually I wrote it down and it's just sitting in a drawer.
Yeah.
Password.
But people come over. I mean, I guess if they come over to your place, but it's like we don't change it. It's the same thing. You're on Wi-Fi when you come over. Keep it simple, right?
Keep it simple. What is your favorite smell?
Victory.
Man, I think you're gonna find out how boring I am if I answer these questions. I'm scared. Like I would just say like the vanilla. Like I always want the vanilla car hanger thing. If they don't have vanilla, the yellow one, I pass. So I guess that's my favorite smell.
We have a candle that smells like Fireball. I love it. I drink a lot of
Non-alcoholic
Fireball.
smell that cinnamon.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know if I have a favorite smell. So,
No.
What else you got on this question?
It says, okay, so this says, how many beers do you think I'd be able to consume?
And what?
So how many beers do you guys think I could consume?
Ace.
We need some parameters, right? How many beers do we think you could consume and still drive? How many beers do we think you could consume and not throw up? I mean, I've seen you drink. I've seen you put about 12 or 13 beers away before.
Draft beers at karaoke. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know about how many beers, but I know how many vodka drinks that I've made. That you
I was
can
going to bring that up.
And it's about, what was it, 5 or 6?
I don't remember how many it was, but it was the number that I could have consumed that night was one less than I had. So I was living up near Jim, and we had a storm. What got us into this conversation is we had a storm, and like it knocked the power out in our town for like 3 days. And I went over, I was talking to Jim, and he's like, yeah, I lost everything in my refrigerator. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, he said it was some ketchup, some mustard, and
My bachelor days.
yeah, he said I'm out like $8.
Yeah.
I ended up going over to his place, and we were drinking vodka, Sprite, and cranberry juice,
Orange juice.
orange juice, whatever.
I believe the name of that drink is Seek Help. I think that's what it's called.
But and when he said Sprite and orange juice, that was just in there so you weren't drinking straight vodka. And it was his single days, and I was just coming out of a relationship. So my tolerance level was low. And I started going toe to toe, just drinking with, I wasn't trying to compete with him, but I was drinking along with him. And he's like, you need to slow down. And I was like, I'm fine. That's the last thing I remember.
You shut your damn mouth.
Started time traveling.
And then the next thing I remember was growing up in the bathroom and him knocking on the door and through laughter asking me if I was okay. So yeah, I don't remember how many I had, but it was one too many. That was around the same time that my wife at the time picked me up in a snowstorm in her, like, she came into a bar that we were in like her bathrobe to to drag me out of this bar.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
She drags me out and is driving me home and just bitching at me, just wearing me out. We get to a stop sign, or we get to a stoplight, light turns red. She's bitching at me. I just got out of the car and walked back to the bar.
Wait, do we get bonus points if we can guess which one it was?
Yeah.
Jessica.
No, it was not Jessica.
Oh, damn it.
No, that was when I was married to Missy.
I forgot about Missy.
Jessica was great. She, when I
Eh.
like,
Eh,
well,
Yeah.
like that. She
In a,
she let me. She
in a
let me do
Daria
just
kind
about
of way.
she never fussed at me about going out. Like it's like I could go out anytime I wanted to. But
because she was going out.
yeah, because she was also
Other
going
men.
out. Yeah, that's true.
I got goth vibes from her.
You got what?
I got goth vibes from her.
I don't know.
Like she reminded me of like Daria from MTV.
There was one night that Bert was like, "Hey, we got tickets to the Blue Jackets game. Why don't you meet me down there?" So I met him down, and we went to our bar. We decided to pregame before going into the game to save money. So we go pregame at our bar, like $30. However, I don't know how far $30 goes, but we went into the game and found out that they had an open free bar at the game. So I didn't slow down. I'm pretty sure Bert did. I'm not. I know I did. And I got out and I got in my car, and like I turned the car on and adjusted the mirror, and I had the spins. I was like, nope, not going to do this. That was the night I discovered Uber, and I Ubered.
Good move, it sounds like.
Yeah. She asked me. She was like, how much was your ride home? And I was like, a hell of a lot less than the DUI would have been. Just left my car down at the stadium and went back and got it.
I've had a couple of corporate events where I've Ubered from like Dublin to Lancaster.
Ooh.
But I just turn the receipt in and I get paid back for it, so I'm not worried.
Last year, St. Patrick's Day, Heather and I decided we were going to go to Fado over in Easton for their big St. Patrick's Day thing. And we Ubered to that. She had never done it. So she's like, I'm worried. I don't know what to expect. She gets real anxious about stuff that she's never done before. And I'm like, don't worry about it. It's great. Worst Uber driver in history. This guy at a stoplight was in 3 lanes. I don't know how he did it. Pissed everybody off. We had the worst Uber driver ever. But we went to Fado and it had a good time, and then we Ubered home. And the guy on the way home was a lot. He was a lot better. And somebody called him when we were on the way home, and he went to decline it. I was like, answer it. Let's talk to him. And like we had a whole conversation with this friend. It was such a good ride home that I ended up tipping him 3 times on the same Uber ride. Because I drank. I was like, I tipped him when I got out of the car. I was like, I gotta tip that guy, and I went in and tipped him again. And I think I tipped him when I got out of the shower. Heather was like, why did our Uber cost $86?
Why were you getting him out of the shower with your Uber driver?
Yeah. He was that good.
Oh, yeah, I had that one coming tonight.
Yeah, he went the extra mile for you.
Wasn't
Gave
a
you the
mile.
tip.
Clearly
And,
wasn't a mile. So do you have a clown,
Two
Bert?
guys, one girl.
Gosh, you know what? I'll tell you, my clown is always Kirk Herbstreit, right? Because I know that Trevor Lawrence won his first playoff game, and I know that somewhere Kirk Herbstreit was smelling some underwear that came from Trevor Lawrence. Like I think he bought Trevor Lawrence's underwear off eBay, and he was sniffing it as Trevor Lawrence won his first playoff game. I just can't stand Kirk Herbstreit and his fake plastic face.
Ah,
Like
no,
that.
no.
Oh, Keith, you
Yes, he
mother.
did. Yes, he
Hold on,
did.
hold on,
You
hold on.
Yes,
son
he
of a
fucking
bitch.
did.